So guys, hello again to everyone out there in the internet land. It is me, Ian, here in Beijing. That Beijing, the big bad balloon floating Beijing, that one in China. Yes, me, here in beautiful China. As you can see, I'm in an underpass area here, but it's clear, clean, no homeless people. Funny that. At the weekend, I posted a video about this new artificial intelligence app thing called ChatGPT. You may have heard of it, it's everywhere, all over the internet. My video was based on the question that I asked ChatGPT, and the question was why foreigners like living in China so much, and it provided me with 12 answers. And if you want to see that video, then the link is up here or maybe here. Anyway, it gave me 12 answers back. I maybe agreed, disagreed, but I certainly wouldn't have put them in the order they put them in. My number one thing for being here in China is definitely the safety. It's fantastic, really safe here. And on the eve of another shooting in America, a mass shooting in America, it really brings it home to me. I'm very, very safe living here in China. Beijing in China. I said last week in the video that I also asked ChatGPT for some reasons that foreigners like me do not like living in China. I don't necessarily agree with the answer that it gave me back. As my old dad may say, one man's windy day is another man's day to set sail and have a fantastic adrenaline-filled sailing trip, whatever that means. Anyway, in the interest of fairness, and if you want to find out the answers to why some foreigners don't like living in China, the answers I got back from ChatGPT, then stay tuned, and I'll share the answers with you right now on this video. The question that I asked ChatGPT was, give me 12 reasons why foreigners like me do not like living in China. Number one was the culture shock. Living in a foreign country, especially one where the culture is so different, and I'm not sure if it is, but it can be challenging for some people. So, okay, get that. Number one, culture shock. Number two was the language barrier. Mandarin is a very, very difficult language to learn. Kind of agree with that, but I'm not sure it gets in the way of me enjoying my time living here in China. Number three was air pollution. China being famous for its air pollution, it can cause some problems with some people. Now, when I first came to Beijing, the air was not good, but over the last 7 years since I've been here, the air is very, very good. Number four was limited personal freedom. China, as we know, has some strict laws that regulate some people's freedoms, which can be frustrating for foreigners. I have not found it an issue, but I know it can be frustrating. Same as number five, which was censorship. Now, we know that the government exercises strict control over the internet, media and so on, very similar to what we do in the West. If you do dig into the detail, if you think that it's just China that controls in this way, then, as the saying goes, I think I know a guy that can sell you a bridge. Number six is food safety concerns. Some foreign people may have some concerns, first of all, about the safety of the food, but also the quality of the food or the type of food. Personally, I really love the food here in China, and I encourage anybody to explore the food. Number seven is the culture differences. China has a very distinct culture, and the way of life here can be difficult and different for foreigners. I haven't found that. I think the key to this point is that you really have to make an effort and adjust. Some foreigners do expect the country that they move to bend to meet their individual demands. I kind of get a little bit embarrassed for these people, maybe a little bit frustrated with their attitude. But however, number eight is bureaucracy. Got to agree there. bureaucracy in China is pretty thick, it's pretty difficult to navigate. However, you can do it with some support and some help, so it's okay. Number 9 is the cost of living. So the cost of living can be super high in China in some cities. Beijing is a little bit expensive, but then the cost of living is a sensitive point. Oh, and by the way, if you think about it, when they tell you inflation is slowing down, doesn't mean that it's reversing. So it still means that if you're paying 30% more than what you were a year ago and your pay rise is 3%, don't let them blind you with some complicated arithmetic. You know, 3 is less than 30. Number 10 is the lack of privacy. Privacy is not a tremendously highly valued thing in China. People do get in close with each other, and I'm okay with that. I think it takes a little bit of getting used to, definitely, and it can be uncomfortable for some people. You know, just think London Underground at the peak. Yeah, it gets a little bit like that. Number 11 from ChatGPT was traffic and transportation. Traffic in some of China's main cities can be congested. Yes, get it, understand. It's also the same in many cities, but it is an issue. Can frustrate, especially if you're trying to get across town to meet somebody on a deadline or something. Definitely an issue. Point number 12 was a strange one for the machine to cough out. I actually said homesickness. And it then justified it by saying living in a foreign country can be lonely, especially for those who are far from friends and family. Homesickness is a common problem for foreigners living in China. I think that's the same anywhere. That can be said for anyone that moves from one country and doesn't fully really commit or has not made up their mind about adjusting their style. So I know it can be difficult for some people, and yes, it can cause some mental health issues, but not everyone is really made for moving their life far away from their home. In fact, I asked ChatGPT that very question. Anyway, let me know what you think of this list in the comments box below. Stay away from balloons that are floating in the sky. And stay away from trains that are crashing in Ohio with toxic fumes burning away. And as always, peace is the only way. This is Ian here in Beijing. Peace out. Take care.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out.